Hey, welcome everyone. I think we are ready for a very exciting workshop today. It will take around maybe 6 hours. No, I'm just kidding. It's like 45 minutes to an hour. And we're going to have fun in this workshop. My name is Serge Gataz. I'm the founder of Flawless Inbound, with great honor and pleasure to actually be working closely with Al, Gary, and the Sanders team based of Atlanta, Georgia, and kind of presenting to you guys the biggest thing ever that we need to focus on before year end and starting the new year. The 5 biggest mistake when you're rolling out a CRM. Al, the floor is all yours.
Okay, appreciate that, Sarah. So we have 2 members of my team with us today. We got Gary Zamilin, who is a fellow coach, trainer, consultant. And we have Susan Siet, who is our go-to person, our right arm with everything with regard to marketing and business development. And she is a crack salesperson herself. And it's terrific to have us working together with the Flawless Inbound team, Sarah. Real good. So there's our bios there on the screen. And bottom line is what we do is we work with businesses, the people in the businesses on sales management and sales skills, processes, staff, structure, anything to do with being more effective and efficient in sales. And then having Susan here with us is great because she's an expert in marketing. And one of the 5 biggest mistakes in working with technology is not merging and leveraging marketing with sales, which we'll talk about later. And of course, Sayer and his team at Flawless Inbound, terrific group of professionals, HubSpot partners, as is Sandler, and now a partner with us in helping people to choose, implement, and use technology in sales.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Al. And just for everybody on the call today, we want this session to be interactive. So this is not designed to be death by PowerPoint. That's my promise to you. And by the way, if everybody looks at my video, you can see my background kind of theme here. It's like Tom Cruise, need for speed, need for making our numbers this year, and hopefully make better numbers, overachieve our goals for 2022. So kind of, I think the energy is back and really want to do great things. Hopefully a strong year end close for you guys and a better year for 2022 for sure. So thank you, Al. I think we're ready to kick off.
Let's do it. Okay.
Awesome.
I want to go to the agenda. And so, yeah, as Sayer said, this is not going to be death by PowerPoint, but we do have a lot of PowerPoint slides to guide our discussion. And we want this to be interactive. So if you have a question or a comment, just go ahead and unmute and talk. And then if you would mute yourself back. We do have a Q&A session at the end, but if you don't want to lose your train of thought and you want to bring it in at the moment, go ahead and do that. Just be aware that we're looking to end this in 1 hour, right? At 12:30, we want to be done. So if we cut off a rabbit trail that is developing, I hope you'll have tough skin and let us do that. So we're going to look at CRMs today. We're going to look at what to look at when choosing an implemented CRM. And we're going to talk about that friction that is there between sales and marketing. And really, even with that, talk about how sales teams are inefficient and don't produce as effectively as they could, and how to use technology to help that be much better. And so using this thing we call the customer-centric model, that will unpack for you today. Everybody good with that agenda? If you're good, give us 2 thumbs up. If you got your screen on, if you don't, you can use reactions and give us thumbs up and type in the chat box. Anything that you want to bring up, type it in the chat box there, and we'll monitor that. Gary, why don't you take the lead on the chat box there, kind of monitor what's going on there. And if somebody types in something that we should bring up verbally, just go ahead and pipe on in. How's that?
Sounds like a good idea to me. Someone already loves the Top Gun reference. So
That's awesome.
Nice. Nice. Cue the music. Oh, never mind.
yeah, we got to do that next time.
Yeah. All right. Very good.
I shouldn't say help me help you. Let's not go there. Let's stay with the Top Gun one,
Yeah.
not the other one. Okay.
All
Awesome.
right.
Very cool.
Okay. So let's talk about the fact that friction is everywhere, right? Friction is everywhere in sales, and but even when it comes to technology, because the classic problem with any CRM, even from spreadsheets onward, has been getting reps to actually fill it out. And if you don't have good data, then you don't have a good tool. So that's where the friction starts, is in getting people to actually put data in, and then so we can get good data out, so sales leaders can get good information then from which they can coach and manage. So if you look at these three areas of friction and look at the numbers here, this is startling to me. In fact, I think, Sayer, that middle one, relationships, I think 60% is low.
Totally.
There's that negative social stigma that goes around sales is a big roadblock that faces sales leaders today. And the fact that, using technology can be, if used incorrectly, can be a lot less human looking, and it happens even less. So then you get to that last one about, salespeople are inefficient. Prospects look at salespeople as being untrustworthy. And so then you get inside the organization, and half of the reps say they're coached, yet 4/5 of the leaders say they coach. Well, both of those numbers can't possibly be right. So someone's lying here, or there's a misperception, right?
Yeah.
Gotta be.
You got it, Al.
Yeah.
And
Go for it, Sayer.
yeah, and then you're absolutely right. I totally agree with everything you're saying. And I think the first mistake, let me start with the first mistake. That's not the right way to start a webinar, but let me go for it. The first mistake when you're choosing a CRM is understand, why are you doing this? Listen, if you told me that you have a fancy Excel sheet and you can manage your sales team properly, that's okay. I might challenge you on your methodology on how you're doing this. That's okay still. If it's even a piece of paper and you're managing your sales team properly, that's still okay, but maybe I'll ask you about how you're scaling, okay? But the first mistake I have seen when somebody say, hey, Flawless and Bound, come and implement a CRM for us, that the sales leader focus only on the bells and the whistles of the CRM function. That's the first mistake. As a sales leader, I would assume we have 15 people on the call today. You might be a sales manager, you might be a leading sales rep, you might be a sales director who have X number of sales manager reporting to you, and sales rep reporting to your sales manager who's reporting to you, or maybe co-founder of the company and wearing the sales hat. Regardless of your role, if you're picking a CRM, you need to be very honest and clear with yourself and with your division. What are the three things that I want to improve in my sales organization? Number one, I think efficiency. And just I'm echoing exactly what Al is saying, right? Our sales team need to spend more time do what they do best, not data entry. Absolutely not. If you're bringing a CRM for them so that they can do data entry, so then you become the big brother, trust me, this tactic will not go well, and it will not go for long. So now the first thing for you as a sales leader is your core KPIs, beside making our numbers, of course. There's a leading and there's a lagging indicator, right? So one of the kind of indicators that you need to focus on, how can I increase my sales efficiency? They need to be at this number, 33%. This is very low, guys, right? This need to be at least 60 to 70%. They need to do what they do best, tell story. Relationship, Al, you hit on that, right? Now the buyers, regardless if you are B2B or B2C, your sales rep now is trained to build trust, be consultative sales. And I heard about a company called Sandler. They have an awesome job training the sales team, and they have a sales framework, right? So if we use now the Sandler sales framework in your CRM program properly, our hope is the relationship building gets better between your sales rep and your buyer, which means you don't become a commodity anymore. Then the final thing, Al hit it on the nail, which is learning. The big thing that, by the way, I'm a Sandler's kind of groomed sales director as well, just for FYI. So I believe in the Sanders methodology, which is you always need to double down on coaching your sales team. So 1 minute, if I'm just managing them by a paper or an Excel sheet, how can I have proper data for me to know how to coach? So that then the discrepancy between 50% of sales rep, they're saying they get coached, even though 82% of sales leader, they're saying they're really coaching their team. This discrepancy can be fixed. So number one mistake, do not choose a CRM just because of bells and whistles or price. Understand first why are you implementing a true proper CRM for the organization? And those are the three major core KPIs as a leader that you need to focus on, that when you're implementing a CRM, regardless of with us, HubSpot as a CRM tool, it doesn't matter. You need to focus on those. Al, does that make sense to you? Like how we're
Absolutely. Absolutely. Efficiency, 33%. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Sales reps should be selling, not spinning their wheels.
And since you're speaking about spinning their wheels, actually we want to spin the wheels, but
spin this wheel. Yeah, you can spin this wheel. It's
this
okay.
one. Yeah, exactly. So flywheel is actually a business model. If you guys heard about Good to Great, right? Like the book Good to Great, and like the author of Good to Great, actually he wrote a book before that about the flywheel business model. And the flywheel business model is very simple. As a sales leader, even as a business leader, in any organization, it doesn't matter if you're a $5 million organization or a $500 million organization. You have three pillars to grow your company: sales, marketing, and customer services. And hopefully you have a customer-centric model. But we all know that. But the key point here as a sales leader, I think your mission is to add force to spin the flywheel faster so that then, traction happens, and then reduce friction at the same time. And we know the friction, which is sales and marketing. That's the usual love and hate that happens all the time. Susan, I'm glad you're on the call. An amazing marketing leader. I can see what she's doing on LinkedIn. She's amazing. She gets sales and marketing alignment. So one of the key things we always have seen in B2B organization, the sales leader need to be a collaborator, need to understand that your marketing manager is a core asset and an amazing component for you to actually help your sales team make their number. My question to you right now, mistake number 2, is when you're choosing a CRM tool, are you only focused on a CRM that does data entry and does quoting? Or does this CRM empower your marketing manager to also do what they do best and able to optimize and add more collaboration between your marketing manager and your sales rep? Also, on this slide, I want you to focus on something else. Does your CRM have a component where your customer success manager, your delivery team, if you're selling a product or a service, you always have a delivery division, right? The wholesale distribution, manufacturing, a software as a service company, it doesn't matter. You always have a delivery division. Can the delivery division communicate back to the sales team and the marketing team properly if there's a problem in a delivery or an operation? So that maybe if there's a problem, I don't want the sales rep to go back and upsell and cross-sell in the wrong timing and everything blow off. Or maybe I don't want the marketing manager to send new articles about new enhancement in our products and services while my client is really not happy right now. So do we have the right integration between the three divisions or not? So that's number 2. When you're looking at a CRM, it needs to deliver the promise of integration and collaboration between those three divisions. Al, feedback on that? How do you feel?
You know what? Most organizations break down there, don't they? They really do. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. Yeah. So let's go ahead and Sarah, why don't you talk about this this ABM model and unpack that for us, if you would.
Beautiful. And I'll go through this very quickly again. So when we look at a CRM solution, right? Look now at CRM, not just kind of a data collection. Let's say 2022, we're speaking about 2022 now, right? You got marching orders that there's the 100 must-win accounts. Your sales rep need to call out, you call them, call the decision makers, start maybe sending them articles, case study, things like that. So ABM, account-based marketing, this is actually one of the programs, not campaigns, not project, it's a program. You know what's the difference? It's continuous, right? It's a program that actually, if you have the right CRM, you can actually have your marketing team and your sales team collaborate together on going in and attracting the 100 must-win accounts. We speak about ICP, ideal customer profile. Who's your ideal customer profile? Who's the decision maker in this ideal customer profile? And you see with this ABM model, really what's happening is that it's not like the traditional inbound marketing or marketing. Actually, you flip the funnel. You start with, those are the accounts I want to win. Here's the reason why. Here's the decision makers inside those accounts that I need to start selling to and marketing to. Can you guys see that? It's the concept of flipping the funnel. And then what kind of channel I can communicate with them with, and then how my sales rep are going to engage with them so that I start building advocacy in the account. And this is in summary, the model of building the flywheel in a flip funnel or an ABM approach. Make sure when you do that, you have a CRM that you can program this in. So you program accounts, you program companies and a multi-touch point in that model.
Yeah, Sayer, I'm glad you brought out the idea of the ideal customer profile, the ICP. I think in any organization that is looking to grow and keep existing accounts and looking to add new accounts, you got to know what your ideal is. Where's your sweet spot? What do they look like? Where do you find them? And then have that target account list that then you work on flipping that funnel so that you're really focused on the right targets.
Beautiful. And while we're having this, maybe for all team attending the call right now, can you guys on the chat just say, here's the question, just answer please by saying yes or no. Do you have an ICP defined already and clear that you know, your marketing manager know, and your sales team know? Just write in the chat, and Gary and Susan will help us out. Like, how many is saying yes? How many is saying no?
So far we got about 2. One says no.
Okay, awesome.
They have personas, but
keep it coming. Yes, perfect. Awesome. And Al, I think one of the questions we always get when we're picking a CRM solution is we want to make sure that this CRM solution is not siloed. It's connecting with other outside tools, right? So for example, I know the HubSpot CRM, we have done 150 implementation, almost 200 implementation. HubSpot natively integrates with one of the famous outside sales tools. LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I hope everybody's using it or some of the teams are using it. Vidyard, we'll speak a lot about that today, a video engine. Zoom Info, that's another tool, of course, that you can actually start building your list from. Remember the ICP, the ideal customer profile, the accounts. You can actually do an export list from Zoom Info or other tools like Discovery.org and Lead 411. Those are outside tools that you can connect with the HubSpot CRM or any other CRM in that matter. Just make sure when you're picking a CRM, it doesn't lock you down with just specific tools. It have the ability to integrate easily, and I'll put 10 lines under easily, by the way, to integrate easily with outside tools as well.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter what CRM tool you use as long as you use it well and efficiently, as we'll talk about. Obviously, Sayer and his team and Gary and Susan and our team, we use HubSpot. We believe it is a great tool. And it's really good to also have partners like Vidyard, LinkedIn, Zoom Info, and you got to be able to coordinate all of them, integrate all of them so that it becomes that flywheel is easier to spin.
And honestly, Al, this gets us to the next level of selling, right? Because we know right now, during and after COVID, the post-COVID era, that's the new generation we're living in, sales is like not only 1 or 2 touch points. It's not maybe we still can go golfing with our prospects. Maybe we can go knee to knee, have a conversation with them, take them for lunch, take them for dinner, attend trade shows. But now maybe the opportunity is not there. So how can we do a digital proper follow-up? Imagine a prospect is coming in online, looking at your website. He met with your sales rep, but he maybe doesn't want to speak with him or her yet. They want to do their own homework. So now they visit the website again. They start filling in forms. I want the CRM to do marketing automation on them. I don't want another marketing tool to do that. I don't want to buy 2 or 3 or 4 different softwares. Because now if it's the same tool doing marketing automation, building my CRM, manage my sales rep, I can see a true 360 view of how this flow is going. So they came to the website, I can retarget them with ads, not the boring ads, not the kind of annoying ads, but ads that are relevant to what they were looking for on my website. If I'm selling a piece of widget here, HubSpot will know that, let's say Al came, looked at our website, and he knew that, let's say we're selling widget ABC. I can, through the HubSpot tool, go back and target Al with an ad to say, hey, for a wholesale distribution company, here's the reason why this widget ABC is good for you. And then click here. When they click here, they don't go back to our website. They go to a specific landing page that then they can self-educate from. They didn't speak to my sales rep yet. The marketing team is doing an awesome job to nurture them. That's Suzanne and her team. They're doing an awesome job building this flow end to end. As soon as now Al is kind of filling forms and watching videos and doing stuff like that, now me as a sales leader, I'm building something called lead scoring in the CRM tool. So now Al came to our website 3-4 times. He attended a webinar. He downloaded a case study. My lead scoring tool now for Al is really higher than normal because now he's really a warm lead. Only at that time, then I will trigger a notification to my sales rep to follow up with Al. That's completely different than the old model of, okay, I have a CRM that I'll configure all my tools here. I have an awesome website. Let me just do website and SEO and all is good. And we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps that needs to be configured in the CRM to actually really nurture the leads and hand off the lead properly from the marketing team to the sales team. So the big takeaway here is your CRM needs to be programmed to do all of that. And yes, there are CRMs, single software, out in the market, like HubSpot and others, can actually do that for you. So that's, just be careful when you choose a CRM. Don't only focus on this part. Focus on the real thing that happens till you get to that part, because that also helps in lead nurturing and communication.
It does. So what Sarah's talking about here is that if inefficiency becoming efficient, how do you make your salespeople more efficient? Is by automating these processes so you can get a marketing qualified lead, and then it becomes a sales qualified lead, and so you can decide when the rep actually gets engaged. Because we know, you've probably heard it a bunch of times, that these days prospects have already garnered a bunch of information before they ever talk to the rep. And so we have to be more than a walking website as reps. We have to have that background, know what's the history been so far with this particular suspect, then start the process of qualifying into a sales qualified lead.
Beautiful.
Speaking of inefficiencies, at Sandler, we have what's called the Sandler Research Center, made up of market research pros and sales leader pros and subject matter experts. And they do polls and studies and garner information that we can use. And this is an example right here of information that from the Sandler Research Center. And this is the opportunity right here. You can see it. This is the opportunity that, that basically 1 out of 5 of the average sales team, 1 out of 5 of those reps is actually even 80% or more of quota. And I think that is a sales leader issue, Sayer. I don't think that's a salesperson issue. I think they're hiring the wrong people. They're not equipping their people, and they don't have technology uses in very good shape. So this is an opportunity. We can make this much better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead, Al.
No, go ahead.
And I think you're absolutely right. And I think this is where maybe as a sales leader, your mission is to recruit, hire, coach, manage, hopefully achieve and overachieve quota, and sometimes, unfortunately, exit sales rep who maybe doesn't match the organization. So you need a tool to help you measure and monitor all of that.
Right. Very good. And speaking of tools, if you look at sales as battle, hand-to-hand combat, you've got the salespeople out there trying to win deals, and in the old days, which I used to be a part of because I'm old, the sales tools we had was basically a brochure and a notebook, in a briefcase. But nowadays, with the technology that's available to us, it's a much more technology focused game. Better tools, better skills, and if we use them well, we can be much more effective if we use them well. So think about some of these advanced tools that are available to sales teams and sales leaders now. And again, Sandler Research Center studies are showing that really only about 1 in 5 organizations believe they are more than just somewhat effective in integrating technology like artificial intelligence, robotics, analytics, and others that Sayer's going to talk more about here in a little bit. So again, this is an opportunity that faces us. And maybe you personally here on this webinar, maybe you feel like you're in that 7% on the far right there, or at least in the 14% next to that. But chances are most of us are left of there. So let's figure out how to do it better.
Awesome. So let's start with quick tools and quick functions that maybe you should expect from a CRM that can hopefully help give back your sales rep more time. The first one is a basic thing, a meeting link tool. How about if my CRM actually had the meeting link tool so that when my sales rep is, let's say now a sales rep is following up with Al because we noticed that maybe Al was looking at our website because he needs to implement a CRM solution, right? So John is my sales rep, he's following up with Al, say, Al, hey, listen, I noticed you download our ebooks and stuff like that. I'm sure you have a lot of questions for us. And I know you're busy. You know what? If you like to chat, here's my calendar link. Only 15 minutes chat. Look for a time that works for you. This is a basic tool hopefully in any CRM. I know it's in HubSpot. And it connects with your Office 365 calendar or even Gmail. It checks the calendar time zone of your prospect and you, and they can easily click, book a meeting, done. Gone are the days of, I'm calling the client, he's not replying, or 500 emails back and forth till I book 15 minutes with Al, which I wasted half a day, but I have 50 other prospects that I want to work on. So that's kind of one basic tool I think that should be in any CRM. The other thing is, I want the sales rep to do what they do best. Let them connect with more prospects. Let them tell the story. Let them consult. Let them ask the why 3 or more times so they truly understand the root cause. Let them sit beside the prospect to help them articulate the solution. So the way for them to do that is that we want the buyer to go through an awareness and education buyer journey, and hopefully with the CRM that can educate the buyer in each and every step in the journey, which I think, Al, you guys at Sandler, you did some kind of also analysis on that.
We did. And again, Sandler Research Center analysis, this is an opportunity, right? This is an opportunity. Ask yourself, when you're talking about, and this says business development strategy, but really any kind of go-to-market strategy, are you integrating sales and marketing? Is it happening? Or are they two silos in your organization that are operating independently, maybe even with friction between them? And if that's going on, we've got to fix that. Got to stop that.
Absolutely. So if you have an awesome director of marketing like Susan, working with an awesome, let's say, VP of sales like Gary, and so Gary is running his sales team, Susan is running her marketing team. Gary and Susan actually are meeting, let's say, once a week. Both of them on that level, meeting once a week to qualify how many leads came from marketing. Are they truly qualified or not? All those kind of things. Gone are the days of pointing finger. This is not a qualified lead. No. Your sales team were not able to close it. It was a qualified lead. Gone are those days. Gone are the days of Excel sheet, cross-reference to see who attended what, how, then. I can have a basic CRM. I know HubSpot can do that. We implemented 500 million times. A basic CRM, if somebody's attending an event, they sign up on Zoom, on LinkedIn, this links all goes directly into your CRM. We don't qualify them yet. And then each and every time they come back, now they become qualified. So then the meeting between Gary and Susan is simply, hey, Susan, thank you. I already have seen that in my CRM, there were 20 people that signed up for. And I can see also in my lead scoring and programming, out of those 20, there are 6 really qualified. So thank you for bringing in 6 qualified leads from your marketing team to my sales team. Susan will say, awesome, thank you, Gary. And by the way, my mission next month is to increase the 6 MQLs and increase them by 10%. That's an awesome meeting. There's no pointing fingers. There's nothing happening because the CRM now is really kind of automatically reporting on everything that's going on and giving Susan as the marketing director and Gary as a sales director the ability for them to go back to their divisions and enhance their KPIs. I know this is utopia. I totally get it. And I know some of you guys almost fell off your chair when I was telling the story. I totally get that too. But when you implement a proper CRM solution, and really connect the dots properly, that should be the outcome for you in 2022, hopefully and beyond. Al, I think there's another statistics here.
Yeah, but before we get that, I think there's an item in the chat box, Gary, isn't there not?
Yes, there is. This is from Seth. He says, how do you build the trust for people to use the link? I literally have people replying to my email with dates.
Okay, I got it. So I have an answer to that. And the answer can be as simple as a video message. So imagine if you add a video message in the hyperlink, say, hey, Al, listen, I know you're busy, okay? Listen, I'm sending you a link below. All you need to do, don't worry, it's a secured link. All you need to do is simply click on a time that works for you instead of me and you kind of, bouncing emails back and forth. So a video message, you're trying to be as authentic and also respecting their time. And you're actually explaining why you're sending them a meeting link versus. And I'm not saying that this will work all the time, 100% with everyone, because as sales leader, we understand that sometimes we deal with different personas and different personalities and different gender groups, right? So if you're dealing with a millennial or future generations, right? They're used to this kind of things. But maybe if you're dealing with an X generation like me or baby boomers or other things, yeah, I get it. Sometimes maybe they are not comfortable doing that. That's okay. But they start reacting with you. They start interacting with you. That's a win. I take it. I'll take it as a win, right? And then I can follow up with other things.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on this, Al. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
That said, you answered it perfectly for him.
Yeah. And actually, that's a really good segue into this chart here that's on the screen now, because if you look at, social selling, social media these days, more important in terms of business development methods that people are using. And people that use it well will tell you that what they don't want to do is do what I call the old connect and pounce. Where like on LinkedIn, you offer a connection request and someone accepts it and immediately pitch them. Let's not do the connect and pounce. Let's just not do that. That actually makes it harder for us because it reduces the overall trust level in the marketplace. Let's be different. Let's do it right. Let's nurture these folks on social media, and then when they're ready, have these conversations where they would feel comfortable clicking that link.
Yep, we have another comment too, Al. This is actually from John. I feel like COVID has pushed the older generation to become more familiar with the technology and virtual meetings and be more accepting of some of this stuff.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think he's absolutely right, John. That's good insight because, the thing, and I believe personally, in fact, that COVID has actually shortened sales cycles for a lot of sales professionals, because you can have 3 or 4 meetings a week with a prospect now, where if you were traveling to them, you could only have maybe 1 meeting a week. And so you can actually get more done in the space of less time, I think, if you do it right. So that's a good point. Sayer, you were going to say something, Sayer?
Oh, I totally agree. I love the conversation team where this is going. And I think, Al, if I may say, I think there is a new rise of a new title of a sales rep. It's called the inside sales rep, or if I may say, the inbound sales rep. So there's actually a new title kind of start being groomed as a new title, like a new role in some organizations where they are 100%, they live in those tools. And
actually, Sayer, I'm sorry. Actually, they're not just inbound, but also being proactive and outbound.
Outbound as well. Sure.
Okay, so where you used to have the traditional makeup was you have hunters getting new business, farmers, account managers keeping and growing existing business. These days we have a new category called fishermen.
Huh.
Fishermen are familiar with technology. They grew up with it. They have the skills also to have conversations and close deals. So they know how to bait the hook. They know where to put the bait. They know how to let the prospect run with it, which is the nurturing, the marketing campaigns. And they know how to set the hook and actually close the deal. It's a fisherman. It's a higher skill set, usually a younger group. But interesting, if you look at this graph here, look at what's the number one by far. It's still referrals, introductions. It's still relationships. It's still getting people to introduce you to people, which you can use technology to make that easier. LinkedIn's great for that. And look what's last on the list, least effective. Even 5 years ago, companies were engaging outside telemarketing firms to try to get inbound leads. And it is a lot less effective than any of these other methods. Let's get it right.
Absolutely, Al. I'll speak, let's say, about Flawless Inbound. Actually, our statistics almost similar. 40% of our business actually is referral, 40%. And then we have a lot of things happening from social selling, emails, and of course, we do cold calling as well, right? So I think you're absolutely right. The key question right now is, how can I take a CRM tool that can actually service me on all those channels? So let's go further. But the first thing I think before we discuss this, I think there's a big question, Ali, you want to ask the team.
Yeah. So playbook. Do you know what a playbook even is, right? And so it's a combination of strategies, tactics, and scripts that you use in certain categories of going to market. So do you have a playbook?
So before we go there, can the team just answer in on the chat? Do we have a playbook? Yes, no, maybe. Actually, I don't know. There's no bad answer here. We're all learning together. So just in the chat, if you can just put it there. Yes, no, maybe. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, looking at developing one. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's a good direction. Yeah. You're moving in the right direction for sure.
Okay, let's show them how to do it, Sayer.
So again, Flawless Inbound, we follow the Sandler, by the way, sales playbook. I just want you guys to know that. So working closely with the Sandler team, we actually can, in the HubSpot CRM, program the playbook inside your CRM. Say, why do I need to do that? Because then that will fix your first number one problem. Number one, is my sales team following that playbook? That's question number one. Question number two, is this playbook even efficient, or do I need to revisit it each 3 to 6 months? Question number three, what's the ROI on me investing my time to focus on building a playbook, and can this truly help me make and hopefully exceed my number for 2022? So I believe if you have a CRM where the playbooks are very clear, by the way, this is a snapshot of one of our implementation. We programmed the full Sandler's optimized playbook for organizations here. And the sales rep, when they are on a call or emailing, they don't need to figure anything. They're literally reading the script. It's not a piece of paper. It's not an Excel sheet. And they can check boxes that actually they ask the prospect all those questions. And so I'm now calling Tyler from within my CRM. I'm actually checking on the playbook, and now I'm reporting, let's say, to Gary. So Gary can see that Seher actually followed all the 5 steps and he asked the right questions, right? Or maybe Seher was struggling to ask question number 4 about budget and authority. So now Gary will know that next time he do the one-on-one coaching with me, he will coach me more on how to better overcome my self-limiting belief on, hey, you should ask them about budget. It's okay to ask them about budget, right?
Okay, so yeah, so a playbook has tactics, strategies, processes, methodologies. Most organizations, according to Sandler Research Center, say they have a formal sales process in place. But next slide, they don't follow it. The reps don't follow it. So
Ah,
what's
that's-
wrong with
that's
that picture?
That's almost 60%. Am I right? That's almost 60%.
What is 60%? So
60,
yeah, and I even wonder if it's actually even higher, because I think the 40% that say they do follow the sales process might be blowing a little smoke now and then. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why you need to have a playbook embedded in your tools, like the sales use tax, or I'm sorry, the use sales tax tasks. I got it. I can do it. Go for it, Sayer.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. So the sales task is another tool should be in any CRM, right? But it's in HubSpot, and we usually program a sales task. So let's say I'm coming in the morning, I'm reporting to Gary. Gary is VP of sales, Susan is VP of marketing, Al is my CEO. I'm scared to meet Al. He always screams at me because I'm not making my numbers. But Gary is nice to me. Gary's do the one-on-one coaching, all this kind of good stuff. So now what Gary did, he knows that I'm lazy sometimes. So what Gary did, he actually programmed all my tasks in the morning. So when I start my week, I don't need to figure out who I'm doing and notes and find it in emails. It's in the CRM. I start my day, bring my coffee in, I'm calling, I'm emailing. And each time I check a task, I simply click on that. Gary at end of day or end of week, he can see my sales productivity. He doesn't want to guess it. Actually, in Gary's weekly sales forecast with me and my rest of the team, he doesn't need to ask me questions that maybe are perceived as micromanaging because he already know the answer. It's in the CRM. Does that make sense, team? So if I can have this programmed in the CRM as kind of native as tools, then as a sales rep, I'm checking my boxes. It brings more time management efficiency for me.
Also great, also great for onboarding new reps as well. They have the roadmap right there.
Totally.
Good. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit here, Sarah. Let's talk about strategies for going to market. At Sandler, we have an acronym, CARE, that describes 4 different ways or 4 different strategies for going to market, either with current customers or with getting new customers. So we call it KARE, and the K and the E, keep and expand, are for existing client relationships. How do we keep the ones we have so they keep paying us? And how do we expand so that we have more of their wallet share? Wallet share being in terms of, they're spending this much money in our space, but we're only getting this much of it. How do we get the rest? And that's an expand strategy. And the idea is that everyone in your organization knows who's a K, who's an E, and they know what that means in terms of strategies, so that the sales leaders and the sales reps then can execute the particular tactics for that account in that strategy. Of course, the A and the R in the middle are for getting new accounts. In the case of R, it's getting back accounts you used to have and no longer have. Again, different strategy than your target market you retain. And so, by the way, CARE is also a great way to make sure you do have a great ICP, ideal client profile. Make sure that your strategies match who you think your market is.
Amazing. And
again, to relate that back, Sayer, relate that back to task level playbook.
Totally. So back to this task, then I'm a sales rep. I met with Gary, and Gary's saying, by the way, Sayer, now you're not a farmer, you're not a hunter, you're a fisherman, right? Because he heard that term from the CEO, Al. Al is telling Gary, hire fishermen for me. I want fishermen. So I say, okay, so Gary is speaking to me now, saying, Sayer, as a fisherman, you need to do a little bit of both. So I say, but just that's confusing. Like, how can I do that? Now in the CRM, we can program our tasks, and we can start building content and scripts and emails in the CRM, by the way, that can then, if I am dealing with an account where I just want to recapture the account or bringing back from lost or competitive takeout, I don't need to reboil the ocean. I will pick the topics and the marketing tools, the awesome marketing content that Susan created with her marketing team. It's already in my CRM. I don't need to search. I don't need to ask for it. I will pick it in, send it in an email. Okay. If it's a kind of go-to-market new clients. Okay, I have kind of a new client template, a new client content. I don't need to waste my time trying to figure out the right content to send. The second thing is we know that video is the new selling tool. Video is going to be very critical moving forward. This is not a surprise. Everybody knows that. But here is mistake number 4 when you're choosing a CRM solution. Does it support video communication? And no, I'm not speaking about supporting Zoom meetings. I'm speaking about building your case study on video and actually building a video wall on your website that a sales rep can easily attach a URL pointing to that specific video case study, send it to that client to start nurturing the deal. And this is actually one of our implementations. We've done the back end of all of that, by the way, was the HubSpot CRM. And we were able to capture and create those videos working with the marketing team in the organization. So rockstar marketing director like Susan, her and her team, they were kind of building those contents. We captured that, we plugged it on the HubSpot CRM, connected with the sales team. The sales rep doesn't need to waste his time and ask, hey, where's this piece of content anymore? They know what it is, they plug it to an email and they send it. Here's another thing. Back to the concept of video wall, just more examples. By the way, video is not just for B2B, you guys. Video is for B2B and B2C and vice versa. So this is actually samples of full, we call them video engines. It's actually supported by HubSpot CRM and it's connected to your website and connected to your CRM. So again, remember, question number 4, when you're picking a CRM solution and hopefully an implementation team that can help you with that is, does it support video? Not just video communication, but video enabled content in your kind of sales literature as well. Then maybe the next step, Al, is if now Seher is following on 50 prospects, now we need Seher to be a fisherman. But as a fisherman, you will have different techniques, right? First you bait, you switch, you pull the fish out, you do a lot of things, right? Now Seher is not that smart, right? Gary's trying to make Seher smart, but hey, I have my own, limitation, my own gifts. So how about if we have a CRM that it can actually build the business logic? So if me, Seher, now I have a new lead coming in, I will simply put them in a workflow or in a template follow-up email. But we all get worried usually about templated email that maybe it's not personalized. It will be appearing as robotic. So in HubSpot, there is a way to build a workflow that have an AI engine so that it can stop the email at a certain time if the client is not opening those emails. So back to what Al was saying in the beginning of the session, do you use robotics, AI, machine learning, chatbots? And yes, usually now almost all CRMs does that. I know that HubSpot can do that. We have implemented before, so we know it's included in the system. But when you're searching for a CRM, please make sure not only to ask the question, because all vendors will tell you, yes, they can. Make sure there's a partner with you that can actually show you that it's working. And ask them the hard question. Each and every time I'm trying to build a new logic in my CRM, do I need to hire a developer and put him on my payroll, or can I do this myself? Good CRMs say, just get an implementation partner, install it first time, you have the key, you run it by yourself. Traditional CRMs say, oh, we can customize everything for you, but just make sure you budget for a developer all the time if you want to customize something. Again, this back to the ROI story. So back here, make sure you build your business logic in your CRM. Hopefully that can be easily for your sales rep to follow. As you can see here, this again, snippets of HubSpot. I know the Sandler team, you guys are using this inside your organization. So this is more of, okay, this lead came in here. Can you guys see that? It's a sales qualified lead. Then if it's a sales qualified lead, here is the 2 or 3 tasks that I need to do. Maybe I need to remind Seher to follow up. Maybe if this lead came back on the website, Seher will get a notification on his mobile device, even though Seher is outside right now dining with another lead he's trying to close. So now Seher can be productively multitasking and hopefully moving deals forward as well. Here's another thing specific for, I think, manufacturing, wholesale distribution. That was another case study. We kind of build the whole CRM and the content. Everything actually was built. Even the front end of the website, by the way, was built on the HubSpot CRM. So maybe another question is, can the HubSpot CRM I'm using, can I build websites on it? Here is the beauty why you want a CRM that can build websites on the front end of the CRM. If your CRM now is listening to everything that's happening on your website, there is no pointing fingers again between Susan and Gary. Why? Because Susan can see from her side of the CRM, the marketing side of the CRM, that she's doing an awesome job with her team. There's a lot of visitors coming in. There's a lot of conversion happening, right? And she can see that they're engaging, they're answering questions. Gary on the other side can see that out of 50 that came, and I'm speaking about B2B here, not just B2C, by the way, business to business, right? Out of 50 leads that came in, I can see that 10 are actually qualified to be real clients for us. They're not deals yet. There's no dollar value attached to them yet. But there are 10 that are truly qualified, right? Then out of the 10, Gary can easily, in the back-end system, can allocate this lead depending on the region, depending on the zip code, depending on how you guys are distributing your pipeline. He doesn't need to do that manually anymore. You can put rows in the CRM and it does the distribution. Then as soon as I get notified, because that was in my region, I will follow up, and Gary will know if he gave me a lead, I didn't follow up in less than 24 hours, Gary will get notified as a VP of sales. He doesn't even need to micromanage. He will get a notification from the system. By the way, Gary, there's a lead that was in Seher's region, and Seher did not follow up in 24 hours. So you can program the whole system to be done this way. And again, this is more examples of case studies, landing pages, video landing page that a CRM can do for you. Not only that, if now the CRM had the video engine, as we said before, we want to make sure as a marketing director, Susan, Gary, VP of sales, that they're actually measuring real KPIs, not vanity KPIs. So we put 10 or 20 videos out. We send 200 emails. We had our sales team calling 500 calls a week. It's awesome, and they need to do that. But now on the level of Gary and Susan, VP marketing, VP of sales, they're now looking at real KPIs. When we send a video out, how much of that video is actually viewed by my prospects? Was I able to get some traction or not? So those are back-end KPI reporting and statistics that easily a CRM tool like HubSpot or maybe others can bubble up in a dashboard or an online report that you as a sales leader, you don't need to waste your time even building reports for. That will be at the fingertip URL. You can bookmark it on your browser. On a daily basis, you can know all those reports and then optimize your strategy, adjust your coaching, hopefully to enhance those KPIs. Here's a sample maybe of our own landing page, form fill, follow-up emails. You can actually, even from within the CRM, we don't need another marketing tool, you can ask qualifying questions before someone click here to register or to download a case study. And as soon as you feel that the prospect is answering those questions, then I can, in the CRM, program something called lead scoring. So then I can increase the probability of let's say, this contact that came from outside to say, that's actually a lead. I can have Seher follow up because that's worth the time spent on that lead. Sorry, Al, I was just moving fast, just kind of showing tools and functions.
Yeah, the time's getting a little short. Yeah, but why don't you show the one, the slide that shows the Vidyard videos?
Absolutely.
So yeah,
here you go. This one here.
That's the one. Yeah.
So again, empowering your sales rep to do more instead of them even writing emails and things like that. It can be as you can actually generate video email like this. Some of your sales rep, again, millennials, they love to be on video. They want to speak about themselves. They want to change the word. They love a cause and they believe in your products and services. So you'll find usually millennial salespeople, they want to speak. They want to say things. Maybe they're shy from face to face. So for this kind of generation of sales rep, they would love a tool like this. They will feel empowered. You can actually record videos. They can record videos. They can send those videos through email, through the HubSpot CRM, or the HubSpot CRM can connect with your LinkedIn. So the message on LinkedIn can be video enabled. Yes. Now the HubSpot CRM can know exactly who opened. So those are samples of things. Go ahead.
And Vidyard has all kinds of stats that show that video increases engagement by a bunch. So, and this is where Flawless Inbound can really bring value to people that are implementing a CRM like HubSpot, because if you show the snippets and templates slide, if you would, yeah, that one there. This is harder to do on your own. If you got a partner like Flawless Inbound, does a great job of this, you can get your CRM set up to really be effective and efficient in helping your sales reps close deals.
Awesome. So that's my closing slide, Al.
Yeah, the EAT. Yeah, let's talk about the EAT
sure.
framework, the EAT.
Yeah, because I think this is
Yeah.
almost before lunch for you guys. Am I right?
Hey, yeah, let's look. We're all pretty hungry over here.
Okay,
so,
okay. Let's
yeah.
speak about eating now, right?
Yeah, get some Uber Eats coming in here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the right slide though. That's not the EAT slide. Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm getting there.
Okay,
So
good.
this is the slide we opened this session with.
Right.
So we're saying, hey, those are the challenges that any VP sales looking for a CRM needs to fix. How, if you implement everything we share today, if you pick a CRM that can do everything we share today, I'm going to change it now. If increasing efficiency, how will I do that? I'm now enabling my team, right? So now with the tool I have, I know I can enable my team to do more with less. They don't need to write the emails from scratch. They don't need to remember their tasks. They have the playbooks in front of them. Align. Now, the sales team now are realigned to follow the buyer's journey properly. They're not forcing them. But then alignment also is between sales and marketing. So now Susan and Gary, they don't need to arm wrestle each week. Who wrote the deal? Was it qualified or not? But most importantly, coaching. You as a sales leader now, if you have the right CRM in place, you can actually transform the culture of your sales organization because now your CRM is truly enabling you and them. It's not just for you to check and see if they're doing their job or not. It's truly enabling you so that when you have your one-on-one with your sales rep, you know maybe where they're struggling or maybe where they are rock stars. So you don't need to guess anymore. You don't need only to rely on your gut feeling. Now there is data, statistics, and data mining in the CRM that can help you that. So that's called the EAT framework for you guys.
Yeah, and when Gary and I are talking to CEOs and VPs of sales, and we're talking about the skills of their people and the processes they're using, and we ask the question, what does your CRM look like? We almost always get this answer, or we get this, the person says, well, we have a CRM, but there's always the but, because people are just not using it well. And so I guess the message we're trying to bring together here today as we close is don't let there be a but at the end of that sentence for you. Let's utilize the technology that makes it so much easier, so much more effective for our sales reps to win deals.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Okay, so Sarah, you want to talk about the try before you and then the
absolutely.
video? Okay.
Absolutely. Quickly,
it's 12:30. Yeah, real quick.
Yeah,
so,
no problem.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, hopefully you guys captured the 5 mistakes I mentioned before when you're looking for a CRM solution. Don't believe in vendors when they say everything is yes. Make sure there's somebody with you at least guiding you through the selection process. Try before you buy. Video is your new friend. And Al, do you want to speak about friction between sales and marketing and how you would see that happen?
Yeah. So, well, most large organizations, they have someone who's like executive vice president of sales and marketing. But small organizations want that too, but those are two distinctly different sets of processes and skills, but they've got to work together. If they're not working together, the friction is going to make your team much less efficient. And of course, part of that is managing behaviors, coaching to behaviors and techniques, which you can only do well if you've got good data.
Absolutely.
So let's, since it's already past 12:30, let's wrap this up. And you've got our contact information on the screen. If you want to talk to me or Gary about sales processes, about sales skills, about helping your team and your sales leaders do better, that's how you get a hold of us. If you want to talk to Sayer and his team about technology, implementation of CRMs, best CRMs to use, and so on, there's his contact information. Sayer, great job.
Thank you, Al. Great collaboration. And I learned a lot. I always learn a lot from you and Gary, usually also in your Sandler's training. So thank you, team. Thank you, everybody, for everything here.
Thanks, everybody, for attending, and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye for now.